Yankee Stadium, New York City, April 30th, 1938. 60,000 people pack the stands. The energy is electric, but carries a sharp edge. Today, Joe DiMaggio returns. He stands in the on-deck circle, 23 years old, the greatest young player baseball has ever seen. Last season, 1937, he hit .346 with 46 home runs and 167 runs batted in, numbers that should have made him beloved. But as he steps toward the batter's box for his first at-bat of the 1938 season, something happens that will haunt him. The crowd does not cheer. Instead, there is silence, and then it begins. Boo! The sound crashes down like a wave. 60,000 voices, united in contempt, his own fans. Joe DiMaggio stands at home plate being booed by the very fans who should worship him. Why? Because 3 months ago, he said one word that powerful men do not like to hear. He said no. January 3rd, 1938. A wood-paneled office in Manhattan. Behind a massive oak desk sits Colonel Jacob Ruppert, owner of the New York Yankees. 60 years old, wealthy, a beer baron who treats his baseball team like a business to be managed, costs to be controlled. Across from him sits Joe DiMaggio, fresh off a season that established him as the best player in baseball. Ruppert slides an envelope across the desk. $25,000, Ruppert says. A very generous offer for a young player in only his third season. DiMaggio does not touch the envelope. I want $40,000. The temperature drops. 40,000, Ruppert repeats. Lou Gehrig, the greatest first baseman in baseball, this does not make $40,000. DiMaggio's response is quiet but cuts like a blade. Then Mr. Gehrig is a badly underpaid player. Silence. No one speaks to Jacob Ruppert this way, but Joe DiMaggio just did. Ruppert leans back, studying him. You are making a mistake. We own your contract. You cannot play for any other team. If you do not sign with the Yankees, you do not play baseball. DiMaggio stands up. Then I will not play baseball. He walks to the door. Ruppert's voice follows, sharp. You will regret this decision, Mr. DiMaggio. The door closes. The greatest player in baseball is unemployed. The holdout begins quietly. In January, it is merely a contract dispute. The newspapers mention it briefly, but as spring training approaches and DiMaggio remains unsigned, the story grows. By February, reporters are analyzing the situation, and almost unanimously they take the side of ownership. The context matters. 1938. America is clawing out of the Great Depression, millions unemployed, desperate for any wage. And here is Joe DiMaggio refusing $25,000 a year, more money than most Americans will see in 10 years. The narrative writes itself. Greedy ball player, ungrateful. The New York Times questions his judgment. The Daily News publishes letters calling him selfish. And through it all, DiMaggio remains silent. He does not defend himself. He simply waits in San Francisco, works out privately, refuses to back down. March arrives. Spring training begins in Florida. The Yankees gather without their star. Manager Joe McCarthy says Tommy Henrich will do fine, but everyone knows the truth. The Yankees without DiMaggio are incomplete. Ruppert holds firm. The offer stands. $25,000, not a penny more. Behind the scenes, management is nervous. DiMaggio sells tickets, but they cannot cave. If they give him $40,000, every player will want more. The reserve clause only works if ownership maintains control. April 18th, 1938. Opening day. The Yankees take the field at Yankee Stadium to face the Boston Red Sox. Center field is occupied by Tommy Henrich, a capable player, a solid contributor, but not Joe DiMaggio. The crowd notices. How could they not? The absence is like a missing tooth, impossible to ignore. The game begins, and it becomes immediately clear that something is wrong. The Yankees look off balance, out of sync. They lose 8-4. The next day they lose again, 3-2. 2 games into the season, 2 losses, and the one name on everyone's lips is the name of the man who is not there, Joe DiMaggio. In San Francisco, DiMaggio reads about the losses in the newspapers. He feels the pressure building. His teammates are losing. His fans are angry. The entire baseball world is watching to see if he will break. But there is something else he feels, something stronger than the pressure, pride. He knows his worth. He knows what he brings to the game. And he knows that if he gives in now, if he accepts less than he deserves, he will never get another chance. This is not about money. This is about respect. This is about establishing that he is not just another employee to be ordered around, but a professional with value, with agency, with the right to negotiate for his services. April 20th, 1938. The Yankees have lost 2 of 3. DiMaggio receives a call from his brother Tom. "Joe, you need to end this. The fans are turning. The longer you stay out, the harder it gets." DiMaggio listens. "Take the 25, prove your worth on the field. Next year you'll have leverage." DiMaggio knows Tom is right. "If I go back for 25, they win." Tom's answer is pragmatic. "They already own us. The reserve clause makes that clear. But you can still win. Go back, play better than anyone, and force them to pay you next time. But you have to be on the field." April 25th, 1938. DiMaggio walks into the Yankees' offices. Ruppert slides the envelope across the desk. 25,000, the same offer. DiMaggio picks up a pen. He signs. Ruppert smiles. "I hope you have learned your lesson, Mr. DiMaggio." DiMaggio does not respond. He leaves. Outside, reporters swarm him. "Joe, why did you give in?" DiMaggio stops. "I am glad to be back. I am ready to play baseball, that is all." He walks away. April 30th, 1938. His first game back. Yankee Stadium, 60,000 fans. And that is where our story began, with DiMaggio standing in the batter's box, listening to the boos rain down like punishment. The sound is overwhelming, disorienting. He has been cheered his entire career, celebrated, admired. This is new. This is personal. This is what rejection sounds like when it comes from 60,000 voices at once. The pitcher, a journeyman for the St. Louis Browns, winds up and throws. DiMaggio swings. Contact. A sharp grounder to shortstop. Routine play. He is thrown out at first. The boos intensify, louder now, feeding on themselves, growing with each step he takes back to the dugout. As he jogs off the field, the sound follows him like a physical presence. 60,000 voices expressing disappointment, anger, their belief that he deserves this humiliation. Some fans are on their feet, pointing, shouting words he cannot hear, over the roar but can imagine. In the dugout, his teammates are silent. Some avoid eye contact, uncomfortable being witnesses to this public shaming. Others offer small nods of support, but no one speaks. What is there to say? What words could possibly address what is happening? DiMaggio sits on the bench, staring out at the field, and in that moment makes a decision that will define the rest of his season, the rest of his career, perhaps the rest of his life. He will not argue. He will not complain. He will not try to win back the fans with apologies or explanations or displays of contrition. He will do the only thing he knows how to do, the only thing he has ever been truly good at. He will play baseball, and he will let his performance speak for itself. The next at-bat, DiMaggio singles to left field. The boos continue, but there is a slight hesitation now, a crack in the wall of contempt. Third at-bat, he doubles down the right field line, the ball splitting the outfielders and rolling to the wall. The boos are quieter now, mixed with scattered cheers from those willing to acknowledge what they are seeing. By his fourth at-bat, when he crushes a line drive to center field for another hit, the stadium is divided. Half booing, half cheering. The sound a chaotic mess of conflicting emotions. Some fans cannot let go of their anger. Others are remembering why they came to the stadium in the first place, to see greatness. The game ends. The Yankees win. DiMaggio is 3 for 4, but more importantly, he has shown something crucial. He will not be broken by the hostility. He will not let the boos affect his swing, his timing, his approach. He will simply play baseball at the highest level, regardless of how the crowd treats him. The season continues, and with it, the boos. Game after game, DiMaggio endures them. Some days they are louder than others. Some days, particularly on the road, opposing fans join in, delighted to see the great Joe DiMaggio being punished by his own people. Visiting teams make jokes about it. Pitchers try to rattle him with comments about the money, but slowly, gradually, something begins to shift. It happens because of one thing: consistency. Game after game, DiMaggio performs, not just well, but at an elite level. He hits for average, he hits for power, he makes spectacular defensive plays in center field, running down fly balls that should be hits, throwing out runners with that strong, accurate arm. He does not celebrate, he does not showboat, he does not point to the stands or make gestures. He simply does his job with a quiet efficiency that becomes impossible to ignore, even for those who want to stay angry. By June, the boos have mostly stopped. They are replaced by acknowledgement. The fans remember why they loved him. The numbers help. By the All-Star break, DiMaggio is hitting .324 with 18 home runs. The Yankees are dominating. It is hard to stay angry at a player leading your team to a championship. But there is something else that earns him back. His silence. Through all the boos, all the criticism, all the humiliation, he never complained, never blamed the fans, never made excuses. He just played. And there is something American about that. Something that resonates with people struggling through the depression, working hard, keeping quiet, enduring. DiMaggio becomes a symbol of dignity in adversity. The man who was booed becomes the man who refused to be broken. Slowly, the narrative shifts. The greedy ball player becomes the professional who stood up for his worth. The spoiled athlete becomes the dignified competitor who let his performance answer his critics. By August, when the Yankees are running away with the pennant, the transformation is complete. DiMaggio finishes with .324, 32 home runs, 140 runs batted in, numbers that would win MVP in many seasons, but the award goes elsewhere, perhaps cost by the holdout. The Yankees sweep the Cubs in the World Series. DiMaggio hits .308 with a homer. In the champagne celebration, reporters ask how it feels to redeem himself. DiMaggio's answer is telling. I did not need to redeem myself. I needed to play baseball. That is what I did. He is not accepting the narrative that he was wrong, that he needed to earn back his place. He is asserting he was right all along, that his worth was never in question, that only public perception changed. In the years that follow, the story of the 1938 holdout becomes part of DiMaggio's legend, but the details get smoothed over, simplified, made more palatable for popular consumption. The version that enters the mainstream narrative is sanitized. DiMaggio held out for more money, came back, faced some boos, played well, and everything was fine. The end. A simple story with a simple moral about the relationship between athletes and fans. But those who were there, those who lived through it, remember something different. They remember the genuine anger, the visceral sense of betrayal that fans felt. They remember how close DiMaggio came to permanently damaging his relationship with the New York public, how real the risk was that he would never recover from those boos. They remember the principle he stood on, the price he paid for standing on it. And they remember that he won, not by getting the money he wanted in 1938, but by refusing to let the rejection break him, by proving through sustained excellence that his assessment of his own worth had been correct all along. The 1938 season taught Joe DiMaggio something essential about his relationship with fame, with the public, with the business of baseball. It taught him that popularity is conditional, that fans will turn on you in an instant if they feel betrayed. It taught him that management will always have more power than players, that the reserve clause is not just a legal document, but a weapon. But most importantly, it taught him that his only real power is his performance. Words mean nothing. Apologies mean nothing. Only what he does on the field matters. And if he does that well enough, consistently enough, brilliantly enough, everything else takes care of itself. Years later, in 1949, DiMaggio would become the first baseball player to earn $100,000 in a season. 11 years after that first holdout. 11 years of proving his worth before the Yankees paid him what he knew he deserved in 1938. The 1938 holdout is often remembered as a cautionary tale about greed, but that misreads what happened. DiMaggio was not greedy. He was aware of his value and unwilling to accept less. In a system designed to exploit players, he stood up and said no, and for that, he was punished. The boos that rained down were not disappointment in a greedy player. They were the sound of a public conditioned to believe workers should be grateful for whatever employers choose to give them. But DiMaggio understood his talent was finite, his career short, his window limited. He understood ownership would always pay as little as possible unless forced otherwise. His only leverage was his willingness to walk away. So he walked away. And when he came back having proven he could survive rejection, endure hostility, all be booed by 60,000 people, and still perform at an elite level. The silence he maintained became his signature. While other players talked, DiMaggio played. His statistics spoke for him. His grace under pressure spoke louder than words. And in time, even those who booed him understood they had witnessed something rare. A man standing up for his worth in a system designed to diminish it. The story of Joe DiMaggio's 1938 holdout is about labor and capital, worth and compensation, the price of dignity in a world that demands submission. It is about a young man who said, "I am worth more to the most powerful people in his industry." And when they punished him, when they turned his fans against him, he did not break. He went back to work and proved them wrong. The boos were meant to punish him. Instead, they revealed him. And baseball has never been quite the same since.